Hey, so I've deviated slightly from what I was going to be talking about, only slightly in the subject line. I was going to be talking about the evolution of the web. I kind of looked into what I was going to be talking about, and it seemed that I was actually going to be talking about something else. I'm going to be talking about what everyone else has been talking about today, pretty much, but in a nutshell, and a bit more simple. Cool. So something that I've noticed is that the internet is all about sharing, believe it or not. So I'll move on quickly. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of story. So I started off in academia with pen and paper. I was quite late on in adopting any technologies. I think I was pretty happy when my dad had a typewriter and I could get all this text really cool because my handwriting is really foul. And then it sort of progressed on from that. Got an Atari and wow, this thing on here, I can actually do some text on here. Awesome, but I can't print and I can't send it anywhere. I can't save it. What's the use in that? Great. Okay, so that was my bit of excitement. At school, we hadn't really had computers yet. The only things we had was BBCs, and they weren't really taken on that well. So moving on from that, wow, this guy, my dad's friend, yeah, great. He worked for IBM at the time. I was probably about 13, I think, and he managed to take home a computer, and he didn't really want it that much. He just took it home anyway, and he gave it to me. And he gave me this big stack of 5.5-inch floppy disks. And he goes, yeah, there you go figure. And I was like, okay, I've never used a computer like this before. It's a massive thing. Tiny little screen. Anyway, got going with it. Cool, find out everything myself. Found out all these applications. I was like, Mum, Dad, come see what I've done. Look at this. Do you remember those days when you've got your first computer and you're like, oh, what can I do? What can I do? You know, I'm looking around. I think a couple of you are older than me, but... So, you know, there was that excitement and stuff, and I wanted to do something. I was really, really, really excited. I could do these batch scripts where it would do things automatically for me. Wow, I was away and loving it. So that was that time. Then that computer broke, and I got a soldering iron that I stole from school and took it home and managed to get one of the fuses to forcibly work and got back up and running. And then it died again, actually burnt out. Don't think my mum was too happy about that. So anyway, so that led me on to going to my mum and dad and saying, hey, can I have a really cool computer, a new one with like networking and stuff like that? They're like, yeah, cool, all right then, yeah. So that then was the time where I could share things. I had floppy disks, I could take it around my friend's house, say I've done this, and it was all about sharing, and that was exciting. I could share what I'd done and put it back into other people's lives and make them happier. So that was a bit of a story about that. This is me, I'm James Broad. Obviously I'm working at Yahoo, as I got introduced. I pretty much live at Yahoo more than I do at home. I think my girlfriend absolutely hates my job. I'm really, really, really passionate about my job. I love the internet and it really excites me. I'm a web developer focusing on front-end things, which is really, really exciting because I don't geek out too much and have Coke and stuff. I talk to designers and people and marketing, and it's fun. So I do CSS and JavaScript and all that sort of jazz. And I'm working on finance.yahoo.com at the moment, and that's quite exciting because people are going to that site quite a lot at the moment. The bottom one's my blog, which I'm not very good at writing that much, but I use it as a place to get my stuff out on the web and share stuff. So we are really, really, really lucky right now. I mean, 100 years ago, that would have been really tough. Look at the advances we've got at the moment. So one of the things is satellite navigation, and wow, when you're driving along and you don't have satellite navigation, that is a pain in the arse. So I think yourselves lucky there. What about mobile phones? Okay, here, let me put a situation on you. So you're going down to the local public house back 100 years ago, and you've got to stand around, and you're like, where's my mate? Where are they? I'm waiting here. Okay, it's getting cold. Yeah, okay, so nowadays, what do you do? It's like, John, where are you? I'm waiting for ages. Oh, I'm late on the train. Oh, cool. All right, we'll see you in a bit then. You can, make contingencies. Something to take for granted, but it's so useful. And what about emergencies? My mum got a mobile phone, and just in case anything happened, so I can phone people. Who do you phone? Landline? Yeah, what if they're not home? Okay, so now we're in a good place. Everyone's got mobiles. We're all on the same page. And it's great to share this stuff. So now you've got the internet. It's like everything changes. now that it's widely adopted, you can find your new home on the internet. You know, you take all these financial burdens you would have had in place before, and you can just go and look at it yourself in your own time. That's exciting in itself. So the other thing is, like, sharing photos. I mean, come on, 100 years ago, it would have been really, really, really tough to duplicate the photographs you had or send it around the world. There would have been so many barriers there. They've all been broken down now, and video is becoming more prolific. So this last point is kind of the essence of my conversation, is the internet and its open standards. It's moving forward now that everything's moving to an open arena where we just want to share it. There's no walled gardens too much anymore. So let's sort of go back about 10 years roughly. Does anyone remember that? No, it's not a broken Yahoo page. It's actually the first Yahoo page that was created by Philo and Jerry down the bottom there. It's quite exciting. And if you notice the email address, it was actually sitting on their local development machines in Stanford, which is all how it came about. It was all kind of an accident. I think the internet was a bit of an accident in itself. It kind of served its purpose. It was a new world. This was Apple. This one was taken from 1994, so a little over 10 years ago. The Apple page, I mean, it's not too bad. But, you know, they obviously didn't have the right designers in the team at the time. Has it really changed? No, I don't think so. So the web back then, that time ago, it was kind of a read-only medium. It was quite limited, but it was a new world. It was a new paradigm. Sharing information was really, really easy to do, and quite fun to just hang around and, you know, entertain or educate yourself. Around that sort of time, we had roughly 45 million global users. Quite a lot of people, but it's growing quite a bit since then. Yeah, do you remember, like, oh yeah, so you guys would have likely been working in companies then. It's like, yeah, your manager goes to you, we need a website. Cool, yeah, what do you want to put on their website? I don't know, but we need a website. What's it going to, to be a homepage like the other guys? It's going to have graphics on there and all sorts of stuff, yeah, like Java and things like that. It'd be awesome. Yeah, rubbish. So then we also had portals, which is one of the strengths of Yahoo and stuff. It was consolidating this massive information, just bringing it in a very easy way for you to find. And obviously they're still around today. I mean, the idea of a portal has kind of changed. You need Google or Yahoo to be able to search the index, or even if you're using Twitter, one of the best things on it is just to be able to search things. And that kind of is a portal. I mean, you don't want to go and have to trawl through all of these links to get there. So also you had on there web forms, but they were very, very basic then. I mean, you would submit a comment and it probably didn't work or something like that, you know, just put a form on there, hope for the best as a webmaster. Oh, God, Netscape and IE. They did their job. Okay, I'll give them credit. They did their job. That's how you surfed the web in a visual form like that. Obviously, the days of Mosaic and stuff were there, but Netscape was really pushing forward. Like back then, they were coming out with some cool things, like, you know, pushing forward with JavaScript. And IE was trying to do some crazy stuff with Visual Basic. But so that was then. Moving forward, we've had these amazing things going on, like JavaScript, as I mentioned. That's just created a whole different web from what it was. Back then, it was very HTML flat. Now we have interaction coming along. The programming languages themselves have been a big advance in this. Way back then, you would have had to do static files, or you would have had to go down like a hardcore Perl route or C route to push out these files in some kind of dynamic nature to the web and make it useful. Nowadays, you can pick up PHP. I think my mum could probably manage to do something with it. Django, one of the latest ones that's come out, which is using a core language called Python behind it. Okay, so something that we've also touched on, which was from Ian, was the data portability. XML, RSS, and JSON have done really great things in allowing us to take information from one service to the next. And unless you're a web developer, you don't know how valuable that is. And sort of on the back of that, you've got web services to take your code and push it out to these mediums in a very easy way and very transparent to the user, hopefully. Something that's also come along, it's been completely prevalent, is communities. People have formed, and like Second Life, is a place where people can associate with what it is. They can familiarize themselves. They'll probably go on things that a while back they would have been going on forums or groups to discuss things that interests them. 100 years ago, let's go back to that. What would they do? Go and converge in a public house and have conversations, but that'll be a very limited set of people there. The internet, you take everyone from around the world. I mean, that's quite something to be excited about. Come on, excitement. Also, we've got this adding extra information to things. Also, like you touched on, Ian, is who's this information, but whose is this information, like tagging, for instance. It doesn't matter whose it is. It's if we can add this extra relevancy to any content to be able to surface it, which is useful in education. That's just great, and it's smooth things along quite swiftly. So moving on to the web of today. Okay, excuse the photograph, but this is a massive advancement, absolutely massive. Facebook or the new Yahoo homepage that will be coming out soon, and the BBC site. I mean, if we went back to the ones that we saw previously, they're all pretty jazzy. You can move things around, you can interact with it. It's got information that you want to see, not what you're told to see. And something that's quite exciting about this open web now is what you'll be able to do on, and it is possible to do on Facebook and stuff already, is to add your own applications. Applications being a bit of a broad term to your sites. So I want to use Facebook, but I use Yahoo as my homepage. Great, well, okay, we'll allow you to put Facebook stuff into that as your starting point. We're just trying to make it easy. We've realized that sharing and instilling trust is a really valuable thing for us, more so than you. Well, it's a hand-in-hand thing. So we're pretty lucky. So we're really at a stage of having a read and write web, which is a prime example of that. Let's look at Wikipedia, which is really useful for education, whereby we now have a decentralized source of information. I mean, Expedia, was it Expedia? No, sorry. The Microsoft Encyclopedia, I forget what it is because it was so long ago. But anyway, that was our single source of, big information with graphics and all that stuff. But that was fed to us. That could have been tampered with by them. Now we've got Wikipedia. That's an amazing source of information because if it's wrong, someone comes along and fixes it. Great for education. When I was around at university, Wikipedia wasn't really around then. So we had to find other forms of sourcing that information. So we're looking at having around 1.46 billion users at the moment. That is a lot of people. I think the last count of people around the world was something like 4 billion people or something right now. You guys probably know more than me on that number, but we're doing well. We've definitely got an open focus right now with Open Social, Open ID, and Open Auth. You probably won't be noticing it too much as a user because the big companies realize that this is what they need to do. We can't have this phishing effect that we are talking about, Ian, where you just go and try and take all the users' details from the other sites and put them into yours. We need a more transparent process that's more secure and more fluid. Open Auth is great for just great for developing with. FireEagle is one of our key initiatives at Yahoo that we just come out with that uses this. It's a way, if you don't know what FireEagle is, it's a location-aware system. It's an agent where a user can tell the system where they are, or they're last seen, and anyone can subscribe to that and find out where that user is on a permissions-based process, though. And this has been the best way of authenticating who someone is in a very solid way. Advertising, God, I mean, Gmail have got it so good. To be able to when I'm reading an email from someone and it recognizes the domain where they're working, and it will say, yeah, there's jobs going at this company. Wow, cool, IBM are hiring, awesome. That sort of stuff is really, really, really awesome. If someone's talking to me in an email about their car they've just bought, and I'm quite excited by that, oh cool, they've got a Mini Cooper, I like them. Let me see how much they cost at the moment on this Auto Trader link or something like that. That's useful for me, probably more than it is the actual sites themselves, because I can look into products. Advertising is a must, it's needed to keep the community flowing. Users are a bit scared of advertising because they feel it's imposed on them, it's forced in their face. But we need it. You need to find out how to get your products cheaper from somewhere else, you're getting the best deal. So it has to exist. And so we'll find that on search, obviously. Yahoo do a great job of that. And maps as well. Maps is really cool. I mean, how far has that come? Now you've got Google Earth, 3D, and Yahoo Maps and stuff where we can put information on top of a map. We can see a landscape view. You can see the heights of areas and things like that. I mean, it's crazy. You can just go and scan over Nevada in Area 51 and see what's going on down there. You see the little people wandering around, not in real time, obviously, but how do you normally do that beforehand? So this is just going to keep moving, and the momentum's just going to get stronger and stronger. We need to exploit this to keep it going, and the development community is really, really rife at the moment in wanting to get involved and share information, try new things out. But you need the services there to be offered to everyone and able to do that. And Yahoo has got a massive open policy right now with everything we do. Well, we want it to be easy for developers to be able to consume and build off so that they can build the best possible things moving forward. Web services is something we do quite well. We offer out most of our things in a REST-based protocol, which will serve you up JSON or XML in your chosen format. Again, we're allowing you to take what you want from it. We've got a new API that's just come out called YQL. If you're a database blood, you would know the SQL syntax most likely. We've kind of done that. You can now go in and query our services and order them in a very easy manner. Accessibility standards are, I mean, people are really screaming out, we need this. Companies are kind of like, well, yeah, but we've offered you the services, can't you just be happy with it? Well, yeah, but I'm blind and I can't do this, and actually I can't do anything with this. So, okay, everyone's equal. We need to have these standards. One of the ones I've mentioned on here is ARIA, which is allowing JavaScript to be accessible by people. So, for instance, an autocomplete where you search for something, it pops up with a load of results below it, and it says, "What did you mean this?" At the moment, it's really hard for a screen reader to understand that and to let them know that something's changed on the page. So there's initiatives like this. And they're going to keep coming to make sure everyone's happy and everyone's getting the same experience. Microformats is something that's pretty useful as well. If you're going to, dare I say the word, scrape sites, you can get information in an easily understandable way by the machine, which hopefully will be presented to the user the best possible way as well. And guess what? Another common theme of today is cloud computing. So we're trying to get everyone to put all their information that's stored on their little laptops onto the web if we can, because then everyone's in a collaborative environment. It's hard to lose things. One of the things that scares me about cloud computing is the idea of a domain owning stuff. Do I trust Google with this? Yeah, but if you could just take away this actual domain, like someone's yard, and you know that it's not just them, you can actually port that data anywhere you like, it's just there hosting a service for you. That would excite me a bit more. And open source is just growing and growing, and it's just lovely. The idea of taking something and building off it, and hacking around with it, making a better product, is proving to be pretty successful right now. So we were touched on Google Chrome, which is is it open source? Yeah, so the idea that you can take it, if you don't like it, change it to the way you like it, contribute it back into the community. That works for everyone. like I said, coming back to my age-old story, is I've got my computer, what can I do with it? Or how do I share it? Created this cool stuff. Well, Google will obviously promote this if they see a use for it. They don't have to do the work, they're going to be happy. And it's probably going to be of a pretty good standard. If someone needs that, they're going to get it exactly how they want it. At Yahoo, we use almost a completely open source stack for our technologies. We use Apache PHP, we use Perl, we use BSD for our services. And it works really well for us. And it works really well for the web as well. For things like Wikipedia, it's open source. A lot of the blogging systems you'll use, like WordPress and things like that, are open source. And it's really, really useful for the education field because when I'm a student, it's really nice to know that I can make a difference. I don't always have to sponge from IBM with what they're releasing. It just gets better and better. So moving on, what's the web of tomorrow going to be about? The web of tomorrow is going to be so exciting, but you're going to take it for granted that at the moment in time. You're going to have something like 3 billion users or something in the next 10 years or something. It's going to be more and more focused on the users themselves. Let me come away from my slides quickly. I had a thought on Second Life. Okay, so you can interact with people and you can see people where they are. What if we take that down to the real life? So everyone's got an iPhone in the room, let's just say. So you're sitting there on the train or something, or in the room, and you just look around and you sort of point your iPhone at someone. Great, okay, they're on this kind of internet-enabled device thing, where you can find out a bit of bio information, see their site, find out their Twitter, sign up to that. You know, you don't have to go up to them and say, hey, what site are you? What's your site? What's your name? How old are you? That sort of stuff. You can find it out. I mean, how useful would that be? It's crazy. You're like, oh yeah, where's my mum? Oh, I'll just look on the site. I mean, there's so much possibility. This is all viable right now. I mean, it can happen. I think it's even happening. But, you know, that's crazy talk. Okay, someone's going to shoot me. So something that is bound to happen as well, there's going to be more sensors to the web. What is the web right now? The web is kind of a very read-write. You have to sit down at your machine, type away, look at it. Okay, so it's going to be more like adding thermometers and things to the web. What's the temperature there? You know, just I can't think of these right now, but they will happen. There'll be more ins and out points to the web. And it's happening more and more on the phone. I hated WAP when that came along. I mean, what a horrible experience, WAP. And then the iPhone sorted it out for me. To be able to, you know, interact in what I feel the right way, to be able to play with my data. That's an example of moving with the times, something you'll take for granted when you're using it, but it's so useful. So it's really exciting times right now. I hope you share my enthusiasm in the web, and I hope my job's not going to be made redundant as front-end web developer based on what I'm speaking about, not being an iPhone developer. So I suppose that's it, really. I just wanted to cover kind of my ideas, my excitement about the web, kind of, you know, just really summarize it for you that we're working in a really cool era right now where students are the same as a normal user. Everyone's alike here. And you can take from the internet what you like and you can contribute back into it what you like. That's really useful times and you can learn so much from it, as we all have done. I mean, just out of interest today, I think that you probably all hear through email. I don't imagine anyone got a little letter through the post saying, hey, do you want to come to this conference? If you did, then that's bad, waste of paper. I mean, that sort of stuff. You take it all for granted now, but really exciting times. So, yeah, I suppose if you want to go into any more conversation, maybe take me aside and slap me around and say that was rubbish. But, yeah, that's me, James.